welcome to my channel. My name is Lena. In today's video, I'm going to be DIYing and upcycling some Halloween subtle Disney t-shirts for my upcoming trip to the parks. I just wanted to preface this video by saying I am absolutely not a tie-dye master. I am not a genius when it comes to the Cricut. I just thought that maybe I could inspire some people to do something similar. These very easy process, very easy steps to make these really cool shirts. So hopefully you will want to do something along the same lines. So I just wanted to invite you all to subscribe to my channel. I do new videos every Friday, generally along the Disney theme, whether it's an unboxing or vlogs of our house in Florida. We've got a vacation home. So like I said, if you can go ahead and subscribe, I would really appreciate it. And if you like DIY videos in particular, given that it's the first one on my channel, give this video a thumbs up. I love doing this kind of stuff. I've made a couple of my own ears. I used to make bows. So if you ever want to see something along these lines, again, give it a thumbs up. So without further ado, let's make some t-shirts.
For this project, I bought 5 shirts from Goodwill and a tie-dye kit from Walmart. Throughout this process, I did follow the instructions included in the tie-dye kit. The first thing you need to do is make sure your shirts are wet. If you're buying new shirts, throw them in the washing machine, but don't throw them in the dryer. But because I bought my shirts from Goodwill, I decided to rinse them and skip the washing step, assuming they've been washed previously. Next, rubber band your shirts together. I use 3 different methods of tie-dyeing. The first one shown here is the spiral. So you pick a point and just twist the shirt. You want to make sure the shirt is going all in the same direction. Then you're going to rubber band in sections like a pie. I used 4 rubber bands for this first shirt. The second method I used was the vertical stripe. To achieve this, accordion fold the shirt from the bottom up to the top as shown here. Then you rubber band across the shirt. When you rubber band, it doesn't matter how much space is in between each band, just make sure your folds don't come undone in the process. The third and final method I'm using is the target. It's definitely the easiest of the 3 I'm showing you. And all you have to do is decide where you want the center of the target to be on your shirt, pinch at that point and pull the shirt straight up. Then you're going to gather all of the shirt together and rubber band just like the stripes. Again, it doesn't matter the distance between each of your rubber bands. You can use as many or as few as you want. Just know that that will end up being the rings of the target on your shirt once it's completed. Make sure you put on gloves before moving on to the next step, which is mixing colors. For this project, I used green, purple, orange, and black, knowing I was going for a Halloween look with all of my shirts. You just fill up the bottles all the way up, shake them up, and you're ready to go. Now to start dyeing. Because I live in an apartment, I don't have a great outside space to do this project, so I did it in my bathtub. Forewarned, it does leave some staining in the bottom of the tub, so just be aware if you decide to do it like I did. This first shirt is the purple, soon-to-be striped tank top. I used just green and black on this. Given that it's an orange shirt, I wanted the orange to stick out quite a bit, so I only did just a few stripes and did not dye every section. Now, you could dye every section and have very little of the shirt poking through, but the shirt color is going to poke through no matter how much dye you put on there. That's kind of the point. Most of the times you see white shirts being used, but I wanted to use different colored shirts as well, just to give it a different look and feel. For this yellow Target shirt, I used a little bit of all 4 colors, but was a little disappointed at how much the black ran. I'm assuming that's because the shirt was still too wet. Once you are satisfied with how much dye is in your shirt, wrap it up in plastic and leave it sit for at least 6 hours. For me, it was easier to throw it in a plastic grocery bag, and I let all of my shirts sit overnight just to make sure that the colors would be as vibrant as possible. The sooner you rinse out, the less will hold in the fabric and you'll get more of a faded look. For this purple tank top, all I used was the black dye. Again, using a colored shirt, I wanted that color to be part of it, so I only colored every other section instead of every section. And then for this white tank top, I used all 4 colors of dye and did fill in every single section. As you apply the dye, it's important to squeeze that bottle into every nook and cranny of your shirt. If you don't, the inside that you can't see right now isn't really going to have as much color. Your color is going to be concentrated to the outside of the shirts. For this last shirt, I was just trying to use every bit of dye that I still had left in those bottles, so there wasn't really any rhyme or reason to the method or the placement of said dye. I went a little crazy. I didn't follow my sections like I normally try to, and just started squeezing whatever I had left. And in the end, it turned out to be probably my favorite shirt. As I'm sure you have noticed by now as I'm holding up the shirt, it's dripping quite a lot. I've tie-dyed before and haven't had this problem, so again, I'm just assuming it's because my shirts were too wet and I didn't wring them out as well as I should have. "14 hours later, it's time for the fun part. I pulled the shirts out of their plastic bags, cut off the rubber bands with a pair of scissors, and ran them in cold water until the water ran clear. I do recommend using cold water over hot water because I've noticed that the colors tend to run out a little more with the warm water. So if you are wanting a more faded, less vibrant look, then go ahead and use the hot water. But I wanted my colors to be a little more vibrant. As I go, you'll notice that the colors aren't as vibrant as when I first opened them because the colors are going to run just a little bit, whether you intend that to happen or not. In the end, some of my shirts did end up a little more muted, but I'm still really happy with the outcome. This process takes a little bit of time. It took me about half an hour to clean out all 5 of my shirts. Next, pop those clothes in the washer and dryer. Be sure to only wash your newly dyed clothes together, as there is a chance colors may still run. For this next step, You're gonna need a laptop, a Cricut, iron on vinyl, a cutting pad, obviously the shirts you just dyed, and a heat press or an iron. For 2 of my shirts, I chose Halloween sayings that had a subtle nod to Disney. So I just picked a font, followed my Cricut's instructions and printed it out. Be sure to mirror, and then I ironed it onto my shirt. After pressing the vinyl, be sure to let the plastic cool off and then peel it off to reveal your finished shirt. Here are 2 of the finished t-shirts. I'm so happy with how these turned out, and I'm really excited to wear them when I'm in Disney World in just a few days. That will be in next week's video, so be sure to come back. Thank you so much for watching, and have a magical day.